Welcome to the Ultimate Sports Podcast. Today is Monday, October 14th, 2019. Today I'm going to recap the LCS games that have been played thus far in baseball, NFL Week 6, College Football Week 7, NHL NBA Preseason, and my best bet of the day. Okay, we're getting right into it. Baseball playoffs. We'll start with Friday night when the Nationals defeated the Cardinals 2-0. The story of this game was Anibal Sanchez, who carried a no-hit bid into the 8th inning, and then he did end up giving up a hit. I believe it was to Paul Goldschmidt, if I'm not mistaken. No, it actually was Jose Martinez who pinch hit for a pitcher. So he got the lone hit of this game for the Cardinals. Sanchez obviously gets the win. Miles Mikolas allows Sean Doolittle to save. Top of the second, RBI double, Yan Gomes, 1-0 Nats. Top of the seventh, RBI single, Howie Kendrick, 2-0 Nats, and that was your final. Anibal Sanchez, 7 2/3 innings, a hit, no one runs, a walk, 5 strikeouts. Sean Doolittle, an inning and a third, no hits, no runs, no walks, and a strikeout. Miles Mikolas, 6 innings, 1 earned run, 7 hits, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. Giovanni Gallegos, a third of an inning, a hit and a run and a walk. Andrew Miller, a third of an inning and a strikeout. John Brebbia, a third of an inning, a hit and a walk. Ryan Helsley, an inning and 2 strikeouts. Tyler Rebb, 2/3 of an inning, a hit and a strikeout. Carlos Martinez, a third of an inning, a walk and a strikeout. Alrighty. Game 2 of that series was Saturday afternoon when the Nationals came out on top by a score of 3-1 to take a commanding 2-0 series lead, as Max Scherzer also had a no-hit bid going in this game, but I believe the no-no was broken up in the 6th inning rather than the 8th. Max Scherzer gets the win, Adam Wainwright the loss, and Daniel Hudson the save. Top of the 3rd, home run, Michael A. Taylor, 1-0 Nats. Top of the 8th, RBI double, Adam Eaton, 3-0 Nats. It drove in 2. Bottom of the 8th, the first run of the series comes on an RBI double from Jose Martinez to make it 3-1, and that was your final. Scherzer, 7 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 2 walks, 11 strikeouts. Sean Doolittle, an inning, 2 hits, an earned run, no walks, and a strikeout. Patrick Corbin, a third of an inning through 2 pitches. And Daniel Hudson, 2/3 of an inning, only threw 5 pitches. Meanwhile, for the Cardinals, Adam Wainwright was sensational. He turned back the clock again. 7 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, a walk, and 11 strikeouts. Andrew Miller, 2/3 of an inning and a strikeout. Ryan Helsley, an inning and 2 strikeouts. All right, then the Yankees defeated the Astros 7-0 in Game 1 of the ALCS. Masahiro Tanaka was spectacular. He got the win. Zach Greinke, a dud, the loss. But Greinke was not a dud early on. He became a dud as the game went going. Top of the 4th, Gleyber Torres, RBI double, 1-0 Yankees. Top of the 6th, home run, Gleyber Torres, 2-0 Yankees. Followed by a home run by Giancarlo Stanton 2 batters later, 3-0 Yankees. Top of the 7th, Astros go to the bullpen. 2-run single by Gleyber Torres. And there was an error by George Springer that allowed the other run to score to make it 5-0. Top of the 9th, home run, Giovanni Urshela made it 6-0. Then an RBI ground out by Torres made it 7-0. And that was your ball game. Masahiro Tanaka, spectacular. 6 innings, 1 hit, no runs, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. Adam Ottavino, an inning, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, and no strikeouts. Zach Britton, an inning, no hits, no runs, a walk, 2 strikeouts. Jonathan Loaisiga, an inning, no hits, no runs, no walks, and no strikeouts. Meanwhile, for Houston, Zach Greinke, 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, no walks, 6 strikeouts. Ryan Presley, 2/3 of an inning, 2 earned runs, no walks, and a strikeout. Josh James, a third of an inning, no hits, no runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts. Brian Abreu, 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, and no strikeouts. And Hector Rondon, a third of an inning and a strikeout. Then the Astros bounced back with a 3-2 victory in Game 2 to even up the series at 1 apiece. Walk-off home run by Carlos Correa ended it for them. Josh James gets the win. Jay Happ the loss. Bottom of the 2nd, RBI double, Carlos Correa, 1-0 Astros. Top of the 4th, 2-run shot, Aaron Judge off of Justin Verlander made it 2-1 Yanks. Bottom of the 5th, Home run George Springer 2-2. Bottom of the 11th, walk-off homer. Carlos Correa, series tied 1-1. And the Astros have to feel relieved because I think they would have been in trouble down 0-2 going back to the Bronx regardless of who was on the mound. I love Garrett Cole. He's going to be the Cy Young winner, but it's not a guarantee that he's going to win Game 3 at Yankee Stadium. I'm sorry. That's a ruckus crowd there in the Bronx, and I think it's the best home field advantage in the sport. And Verlander, by the way, 6 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. Will Harris, 2/3 of an inning, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Roberto Osuna, an inning and 2/3 and 2 strikeouts. Joe Smith, an inning and 2/3 and a walk. Ryan Presley faced one batter. He gave up a hit. They pulled him. And then Josh James, a third of an inning and a strikeout. And that was a great at-bat by Gary Sanchez that ultimately should have ended in a strikeout, but they called it a foul ball. And then the next pitch was a pitch that was clearly outside that they called strike 3. Kind of a makeup call for not calling the foul ball a strikeout, which it really was. James Paxton, 2 1/3 innings, 4 hits and a run, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. He wasn't really that great. Chad Green, 2 innings, 2 strikeouts. Adam Ottavino, a third of an inning, 2 hits and a run, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Tommy Kahnle, 2/3 of an inning and 2 strikeouts. Zach Britton, an inning, a walk, and a strikeout. Aroldis Chapman, an inning, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. So you see Sabathia faced a batter, so a third of an inning. Got Michael Brantley to ground out. Jonathan Weizica gave up 2 walks. Didn't even record it out. He got pulled. Jay Happ, 2/3 of an inning, a hit and a run, which was obviously the Correa home run, and a strikeout. So tonight is game number 3 between the Cardinals and the Nationals. 7:38 on TBS. Brian Anderson, Jeff Francoeur, and Ron Darling on the call. Jack Flaherty against Steven Strasburg. This is going to be some game between these two teams. 2 hot pitchers coming in to this game. Strasburg was vulnerable against the Dodgers, but he rebounded very nicely. Flaherty's a good pitcher. The Nationals are slight favorites tonight, as they should be, because they're home. And Strasburg has just been dealing lately. If St. Louis was home, obviously they'd be favored. But no, Washington's favored here. I'm going to take the Nets to go up 3-0. I just don't think that the Nats really should be losing a playoff game with the pitcher that's arguably throwing the best for them right now, in Steven Strasburg, going in this spot. As well as Jack Flaherty's pitched, I just trust Strasburg more. And I know the bullpen, I would give the advantage to the Cardinals 100 times out of 100. But there's just a good vibe around the Nationals right now. They're playing with a lot of swagger. This could be their year. It feels like it's meant to be for them, especially how they came from behind in that elimination game against the Brewers and won that game, and then the Dodger game. I just feel like all the momentum's on their side, and I think they'll win this game tonight by a score of 2-1. Now we'll move on to NFL week number 6. London game, Panthers over the Bucks, 37-28. Kyle Allen was very good again. They're 4-2. Tampa's 2-4. Seahawks over the Browns, 32-28. Now there's conversation about Freddie Kitchens' future. They're down 2-4. Seattle 5-1. First place in the NFC West, as well as the undefeated 49ers, which we'll get to. Texans over the Chiefs, 31-24. Story of this game, Patrick Mahomes. I really wasn't all that impressed. He's, to me, still not right. They're 4-2, and so are the Texans. And this is a big win for the Texans when it comes down to tiebreakers and whatnot in terms of the AFC playoff picture. So that is a monstrous win for that team and Deshaun Watson. They really shined on Sunday. Redskins over the Dolphins, 17-16 in the Tank Bowl. Redskins are 1-5. Dolphins are 0-5. And it's funny. It's only fitting that the Dolphins go for 2 after Ryan Fitzpatrick leads them down the field. They score a touchdown. It's only fitting that they go for 2 and don't get it. It's just so fitting. Vikings over the Eagles, 38-20. So Kirk Cousins gets a win over a good team. They're 4-2. Philadelphia's 3-3. Cousins actually played very well in this game. Obviously, Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen were both excellent in this game. And maybe the Eagles have some questions to answer regarding their pass defense, and they really have to make a trade to improve themselves. The Saints defeat the Jaguars 13-6. Teddy Bridgewater and company get it done again. They're 5-1. Jacksonville's 2-4. Ravens over the Bengals 23-17. Ravens gave up the late touchdown for the cover, but more importantly, they won the game. They're 4-2. Cincinnati's 0-6. 49ers over the Rams 20-7. The 49ers look like a team that's for real. Their defense stepped up despite a lot of injuries. They're 5-0. Rams are 3-3. Now there's a lot of questions about the Rams and Jared Goff and are we sure he's good and whatnot, which is complete bullshit nonsense. Cardinals over the Falcons 34-33. Only fitting in this game that Matt Bryant misses the extra point in this game, which would have perhaps forced overtime in this game. And it's funny because I wondered if they were going to go for 2, but no, instead they kick it and he misses. And Dan Quinn is certainly another coach that's on the hot seat. They're 1-5. Arizona's 2-3-1. Broncos over the Titans 16-0. Story of this game is that Marcus Mariota is benched for Ryan Tannehill as the Titans drop to 2-4. Denver improves to 2-4. So Denver getting themselves kind of back in the picture. Let's be honest here. Jets over the Cowboys 24-22. This was a big upset as the Jets go to 1-4. In the return of Sam Darnold, he played very well. And Dallas drops to 3-3. Steelers over the Chargers 24-17. Big win for the Steelers. They're kind of back into things too. They're 2-4. LA's 2-4. Dalvin Hodges was okay, but did enough for the Steelers, I guess, to win the game. James Conner was great. Their defense was great. And obviously, the terrible Towers were out as I predicted. And now tonight you have the Lions at the Packers, 8:15, ESPN, Joe Tessitore, Booger McFarland, Lisa Salters on the call. I made this pick on Friday. I'm going to stick with it. I love the Packers minus the points. I think they're going to destroy the Lions perhaps. The Lions are not as bad as I thought, but I just think it's a coaching mismatch. I just don't like Matt Patricia. I think this is a fraudulent team. And I think the Packers at home will show everybody why they think they're the team to beat in that division with that improved defense. Their offense is starting to get in the rhythm as we saw in that Cowboys game. So, give me the Packers here by double digits at home over the fraudulent Detroit Lions. College football. We're going to start Friday night and work our way through Saturday. Actually, no, we'll start with Wednesday because I never went over the Wednesday and Thursday games on the podcasts from Thursday and Friday. So, Appalachian State over Louisiana 17-7. App State's 5-0. UL Lafayette 4-2. NC State over Syracuse 16-10. NC State is 4-2. Syracuse is 3-3. Yale Monroe over Texas State 24-14. Yale Monroe 3-3. Texas State 2-4. Number 13, Oregon over Colorado, 45-3. That was an impressive win for Oregon. They're 5-1. Colorado's 3-3. Miami over number 20, Virginia, 17-9. I was way off on this game. Vegas was right. They're 3-3, and Virginia's 4-2. Colorado State over New Mexico, 35-21. New Mexico may be very bad. They're 2-4, and Colorado State's 2-5. Saturday, the biggest upset of the day. South Carolina over number 3 Georgia 20-17 in double overtime as Will Muschamp's team pulls off an outright upset as a 20-something point dog, and that absolutely changes things in the college football playoff picture. Now Georgia's going to be having to play elimination games week by week, and obviously this opens things up for LSU a little bit as well here as South Carolina goes to 3-3 and Georgia drops to 5-1. Number 6, Oklahoma defeats number 11, Texas, 34-27 in the Red River Shootout. As Oklahoma goes to 6-0 and Texas goes to 4-2. So Oklahoma's still alive in the playoff picture. Michigan over Illinois, 42-25. Michigan's 5-1. Illinois is 2-4. Michigan's still alive as well. Temple over number 23, Memphis, 30-28. I called this one. Temple's 5-1, and so is Memphis. Purdue over Maryland, 40-14. Purdue 2-4, Maryland 3-3. Tennessee over Mississippi State 20-10. Tennessee 2-4, Mississippi State 3-3. I called that one as well. So I hit a nice little money line parlay with Temple, Purdue, and Tennessee as all home underdogs winning outright. Indiana over Rutgers 35-0. What else is new? Indiana 4-2, Rutgers 1-5. Western Michigan over Miami of Ohio 38-16. Western 4-3, Miami of Ohio 2-4. Bowling Green over Toledo 20-7. This was a shocker as well as the South Carolina one. Bowling Green 2-4, Toledo 4-2. So Toledo may not be the best team in that division this year. Duke over Georgia Tech 41-23. Duke is 4-2, Georgia Tech 1-5. Ball State over Eastern Michigan 29-23. So this was another game I was off on in the MAC. Ball State 3-3, Eastern Michigan 3-3. So who knows, maybe Ball State ends up being a bowl team this year. Marshall over Old Dominion 31-17. Marshall 3-3, Old Dom 1-5. Central Michigan over New Mexico State 42-28. Central 4-3, New Mexico State 0-7. Number 1 Alabama over number 24 Texas A&M 47-28. Bama 6-0. A&M 3-3. Number 2 Clemson over Florida State 45-14 in what was perhaps their best win of the year. Clemson 6-0. FSU 3-3. Number 8 Wisconsin over Michigan State 38-0. Wisconsin impressive. They're 6-0. Michigan State's 4-3. Maybe Michigan State's not as good as we thought. Number 18 Arizona State over Washington State 38-34. Arizona State is 5-1, and Wazoo 3-3. Number 25 Cincinnati over Houston 38-23, so I was off on this game. Houston is 2-4, Cincinnati 5-1. South Florida over BYU 27-23. This was a surprise upset in my mind. South Florida 3-3, BYU 2-4, so South Florida's 3 wins away from a bowl. Kent State over Akron 26-3. Kent State must be for real then. They are 3-3 and Akron's 0-6. So Ball State and Kent State each 3-3 in the MAC. Northern Illinois over Ohio 39-36. Good bounce back win for Northern. They're 2-4 and so is Ohio. Tulane over UConn 49-7. Tulane 5-1, UConn 1-5. Number 22 Baylor over Texas Tech 33-30 in double overtime. Baylor's still undefeated. They are 6-0, and Texas Tech is 3-3. So we have to start considering taking Baylor seriously now, although they failed to cover. Nevada over San Jose State 41-38. Nevada 4-2, San Jose State 3-3. UNLV over Vanderbilt 34-10. That was a shocker in my mind. UNLV 2-4, Vanderbilt 1-5. Iowa State over West Virginia 38-14. They pulled away late in that game. They're 4-2. WVU is 3-3. Virginia Tech over Rhode Island 34-17. Virginia Tech 4-2. Rhode Island 1-5. FAU over Middle Tennessee 28-13. FAU 4-2. Middle Tennessee 2-4. Georgia State over Coastal Carolina 31-21. I was questioning why Coastal Carolina was favored, and I was right. Georgia State's 4-2, Coastal 3-3. UAB over UTSA 33-14. UAB 5-1, UTSA 2-4. Western Kentucky over Army 17-8. Western 4-2, Army 3-3. So maybe Army's worse than we thought. Louisiana Tech over UMass 69-21. La Tech 5-1, UMass 1-6. Southern Miss over North Texas 45-27. Southern Miss 4-2, North Texas 2-4. Air Force over Fresno 43-24. Air Force 4-2, Fresno 2-3. Missouri over Ole Miss 38-27. Missouri 5-1, Ole Miss 3-4. FIU over Charlotte 48-23. FIU 3-3 and Charlotte 2-4. Number 9 Notre Dame over USC 30-27. This was a closer game than I anticipated. Notre Dame 5-1, USC 3-3. Number 10, Penn State over number 17, Iowa, 17-12. So Penn State barely avoids the trap. They are 6-0 and Iowa's 4-2. Louisville over Wake Forest, 62-59. Wow. So Louisville, I thought, was live here and they won. They're 4-2. Wake's 5-1. Actually, didn't think Louisville would win, but I thought they had a chance. Minnesota over Nebraska, 34-7. That was a weird line. Vegas was right. They're 6-0. Nebraska's 4-3. Kentucky over Arkansas, 20-24. So Arkansas covers there. Kentucky is 3-3. Arkansas 2-4. Navy over Tulsa, 45-17. Navy 4-1. Tulsa 2-4. I was off on that game as well. LSU over Florida, 42-28. So LSU barely covers. The number 5 team in the country is 6-0, and the number 7 team in the country 6-1. I don't know what the new rankings are. I haven't looked yet. Utah defeats Oregon State 52-7. The number 15 team in the country goes to 5-1. Oregon State 2-4. So Utah's still alive in the playoff mix. Number 14 Boise State over Hawaii 59-37. Boise is 6-0. Hawaii 4-2. San Diego State over Wyoming, 26-22. So San Diego State barely covers. They are 5-1, and Wyoming's 4-2. And last but not least, Washington over Arizona, 51-27. Wazoo 5-2. Arizona 4-2. Next week, next up, NHL. We're just going to do the results from yesterday and look ahead to today a little bit. Penguins over the Jets 7-2. Pittsburgh is now 4-2 on the season. Winnipeg 4-3. Golden Knights over the Jets 5-2. Vegas is now 4-2, and in LA is 2-3. Sharks over the Flames 3-1. In Logan Couture's first home game back with the Sharks, they're 2-4. Calgary's 2-3-1. Couple finals from today. Bruins over the Ducks 4-2. David Pastrnak scored 4 goals as the Bruins go to 5-1. Anaheim 4-2. Wild over the Senators 4-0. The Wild are now 1-4, and Ottawa's 1-4. Ottawa's first win came against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Who would have thought that? Panthers over the Devils 6-4. The Panthers are now 2-2-2. Devils are 0-4-2, so New Jersey's still winless. Islanders over the Blues 3-2 in overtime. That was a nice win for Barry Trotz's team. They are 3-3, and St. Louis is 3-1-2. Going on right now is Stars Sabres and Avs Caps. And then tonight, 8:30 on the NHL Network, the undefeated Oilers at the Blackhawks. And the Blackhawks, by the way, still winless on the season, although they played in only 3 games. NBA preseason from yesterday. Celtics over the Cavs, 118-72. As the Celtics continue to blow teams out in the preseason. Max Strus had 14 points to lead the Celtics in scoring. Jason Tatum 4, Kemba Walker 12, Jaylen Brown 10, Gordon Hayward 3, Daniel Theis 10. Cavs starters, none of them hit double digits, and Sedanius Thornwell off the bench had 12. The Clippers defeated Melbourne United 118-100. Montrezl Harrell had 22 off the bench. Patrick Patterson had 10 off the bench. Lou Williams had 16 off the bench. Patrick Beverley had 11. Navasa Zubac had 10. And Justin Robinson had 15. Landry Shamet had 7. Pelicans over the Spurs 123-114. in Zion's first preseason game in San Antonio. And Zion led the Pelicans in scoring yet again, 22 points. He's been the best player in the preseason. I'm sorry, that's facts so far. Drew Holiday had 16, Lonzo Ball had 12, Brandon Ingram had 10. Off the bench, Frank Jackson had 12, Nickeil Alexander-Walker had 13. DeMar DeRozan had 16, Bryn Forbes had 18 for San Antonio. Off the bench, DeMar Carroll had 13, Patty Mills had 10, and Marco Bellinelli had 11. Bucks over the Wizards, 115-108. Did Giannis play in this game for Milwaukee? Chris Middleton did. He had 22. Giannis did not play, illness. Ersan Ilyasova had 18. Off the bench, Dragan Bender had 12. Sterling Brown had 18. And Dante DiVincenzo had 13. Meanwhile, for Washington, Bradley Beal had 20. Rui Hachimura had 10. Thomas Bryant had 17. Off the bench, Maurice Wagner had 10. And Matthews had 12. And Chizoa had 14 for Washington. Bulls over the Raptors, 105-91. That's a classic, it's the preseason type of result in the NBA. When you see that in the regular season, people would overreact and call the Raptors frauds and stuff like and whatnot. Zach LaVine had 26 points. Larry Markkanen had 15. Otto Porter Jr. had 11. Wendell Carter Jr. only had 2. Thomas Satoransky had 12. Off the bench, Kobe White had 18. Meanwhile, for Toronto, OG Anunoby had 15. And Boucher had 11. Siakam, Ibaka, Gasol, Lowry, Van Vliet, and Powell all did not play. So that would make sense. 76ers over the Magic, 126-94. The 76ers have done a good job in this preseason. Joel Embiid had 15. Al Horford had 11. Tobias Harris had 14. Josh Richardson had 13. Off the bench, Matthias Thybulle had 10. Meanwhile, for Orlando, Mo Bamba had 12. DJ Augustine had 10. Off the bench, Al-Farouq Aminu had 12. And Wesley Iwundu had 10. Markelle Fultz had 12. Shot 5 for 11, by the way. And the Timberwolves defeated Maccabi Haifa 131-101. Let's see if any of their regulars played in this one. Jeff Teague did play but didn't score a point. Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins each had 9. Robert Covington had 6. The starters only played 12 minutes or less. Graham had 14. John Lehman had 10 off the bench. Shavaz Napier had 11 off the bench. Jarrett Culver had 11 off the bench. Tonight's preseason slate, you have the Hawks at the Heat, the Hornets at the Grizzlies on NBA TV. Thunder Mavs at 8:30, 9 o'clock Nuggets Nuggets Suns and Kings Jazz, and at 10:30 NBA TV Warriors Lakers. And by the way, no LeBron James and Anthony Davis for the Lakers tonight. Best bet of the day brought to you by DraftKings. So we can go in a number of directions here. You have some hockey, you have some Monday Night Football, preseason basketball as well. So, without further ado, here we go. I'm going to take the Packers on the money line for tonight. And then I'm going to take the Nationals against the Cardinals. That brings me to plus 170. And then in hockey, I'm going to take a little bit of an upset. Let's see if they're actually a dog. No, they're actually minus 120, the Chicago Blackhawks. So they're favored to knock off Edmonton from the undefeated ranks. So plus 396. Wagering $1 paid out of $4.96. That's it for the podcast today. I'll be back tomorrow with guest lines for Week 8 college and Week 7 NFL. Monday Night Football recap. Game 3, Nationals, Cardinals recap. Monday Night Football, hockey, NBA preseason, best bet. And this week I'm probably going to get on Jonathan Wagner and Ryan Berger on the preview of the NBA season with me. Next week, maybe Derek. I'm going to try to get Nick Costos on. I know he couldn't come on this week, so that's a little unfortunate. Maybe I'll get him on maybe at the end of this week, if not early next week, to do NBA futures, college futures, and any other gambling things, maybe World Series prices and whatnot. So hopefully we can get him on, or else I'll probably get on his coworker from You Better You Bet, Joe Ostrowski, who's based out of Chicago. Maybe I'll get him on a little bit. So we'll see who the guests are throughout the week. Maybe I'll get Derek on as well. Hope you guys have a great day, everybody.